Hey, there we are. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be, whatever time it is where you are, or even if you're watching this on a recording, welcome back to my live stream. My name is Jeff Fritz. Today is January 11th, 2019, and we're going to write a little bit of code today. How's it going there, chat room? Hey there, Robert Tables. Good to see you. Developer's Garage, Ancient Coder, Rambling Geek. Jurgen Gutsch is here. Hey, Jurgen. Chef Brent, good morning. Check out that hype with Chef Brent. Coded Beard, Eckert is here. Code Party, hello, hello. T-Mac, hey, thanks for coming back. Kevin Downs, Stelzy. Now, Code Therapist, confession, real talk. When I saw your name pop up on the chat today, I looked at it and I first thought it was Code the Rapist. No, it's Code Therapist. But for some reason, my mind broke that up in my head. I don't know why. Yes, I'm wearing my black Twitch hat today. Feeling pretty good. Really looking forward to writing some code here today. And wow, already a whole lot of viewers out there. Full disclosure, I have a sponsor for today's stream, so I will have a commercial read. We'll get into that maybe about another half hour or so. You can change capitalization for usernames, yes, but for some reason, the chat plugin over here forces everything to lowercase. So, all right, let's see. What else do we want to do today before I got started? So, let's get some music playing here in the background. Of course, I like to play music from our friend Mr. Carl Franklin. This is Music to Code By, and today I think I'm going to play. You know what? I'm wearing my purple Twitch hat. Let me play purple today. This is music that's scientifically engineered. It's designed to get you in the flow, to get you focused on whatever task it is that you might be working on. It might be coding. It might be your homework. It might be lawn work. I like to listen to this while I'm doing the dishes. Whatever it is that you may be doing, it helps get all those extra things that you might be thinking about to just fall away and get you focused on the task at hand. Check it out at mtcb.pwop.com, or you can download the app at musictoflowby.com. Sign up for a subscription. There's 18 songs out there, and you'll get a new song every few months. We want to thank Carl for letting us play his music here on stream and enjoying writing some code together. Thank you, Kasuka. Thank you so much for that subscription. 5 months in a row. Yes. Almost there. Almost to 6 months. What happened? Where'd my mic go? Hello? We still there? It sounded like it cut out for a second. No, we're still good. Okay. Yeah, look at that big grin. All right. We started doing some work last time. When was it? Tuesday. Thursday, yesterday, we had our friend Dave Glick join us. We talked about Discover.net, and we built some things. We even talked a little bit about the open source community, and we built a new news plugin for our GitHub ticker that goes across the top of the screen. That was really cool. I was thrilled to be able to work on that with Dave and to be able to share more information about what's going on in the .NET community by just adding a little ticker here to the screen. We're going to get into the code here in just a minute, but I do want to, let's see, we're going to talk about that in just a minute. Let's go over to GitHub. I want to show you the code that I committed for that. It's over here in the Fritz Stream Tools repository. We've got a bunch of pull requests. Most of these are from Dependabot because there's some updates coming for ASP.NET Core that it wants me to install. I'm going to hold off on those for just a little bit. In fact, let's go to the full screen here. That's a little bit better. But what I did, and this is in our dev branch, inside Stream Tools, down here in Views, under GitHub, we're going to need to change this because this is more of a news ticker now. Under the H scroll, so this is specifically for the horizontal scroll presentation. You can see it right up top there, and there's some of the news going by now. We just added a new section right here to output news that's collected from Discover.net. So I encourage you to check out discover.net. There it is. It's at discover.net. So I want to thank Dave for joining us yesterday and make sure that you know all about all the cool stuff that's going on out there to promote open source projects and to give you the latest news that's going on inside the .NET developer community. They also happen to highlight things like this stream when there's a new, when there's a new episode. Very cool stuff. All right, so that's a little bit about what we did, and you'll see, like I said, you'll see the news scroll by up at the top. It doesn't refresh on a regular basis or anything like that, but I think it's pretty cool to have that information there. And Lannon had this idea yesterday. It'd be cool if we could get the links for some of those news items, if we could issue a ticker command. This is a really neat idea. I'm going to put a label of enhancement and help wanted on this. So if you're interested in getting started with open source, if this is something you think you can write, check it out. Submit a pull request. We'll review and discuss it here on stream. Give you some feedback, and you'll get your name appearing up top on the ticker to indicate that you made a contribution to our project here. All right. Let's see what else. So that's what's going on over there. We started working on this, not Stream Tools. Where did I put it? Here it is, StreamDeck first. This was the project we started working on last time to automate, and not even automate, to add some functionality into the StreamDeck. The StreamDeck is this Endriat Vitija. Thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. That's going to help us get to this little goal here, the rainbow beard goal. We get to 5,000, and I'll dye this beard rainbow colored for a stream and have some fun with that. The StreamDeck is a tool that helps me automate everything that we're doing here on stream. I've got buttons like these here to start and stop the stream, to send an announcement out to Twitter, change my various scenes here inside of OBS. And I've got buttons up here to do things like, here's a counter that isn't quite working right now. We'll dig into that. And this is an add-in that was built that will show me the current CPU percentage. And it updates once a second. This is not something that shipped with the StreamDeck, but was built and is available as a custom plugin that you can use with this. Now, of course, I've got all my sound effects hanging out down here.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Woo!
Right? I mean, they're all over the place. But if we wanted to add additional functionality to do different things, we can now build and target a WebSocket to interact with it and send some JSON back and forth to communicate and instruct the StreamDeck to do things, or to give it information from wherever it is that we are that we want it to interact with. Hey, Svava, yes, what mischief are we getting into today? Haha, what do you see? I need your sound clip of sexy nerd speak, says Fierce Kittens. Gee, I wonder who made that. Hey, baby, your pointer is dangling. Yeah. So, I went through, I thought I had the counter working as of last time. For some reason, my sound is fading. It's coming and going. Do you hear that? That sounds weird. Is that me? Be like a garbage collector and take the trash. No. Sounds fine to you, Dee Dee? Okay, thank you. Every now and again, it sounds like my microphone cuts down a little bit. Don't make me dispose you. Oh, man. You know what it might be? I think I've got a lame cable here on my headset. I can feel it coming and going as I twist the connection. It's got to be me. There we go. That's better. All right. So I started building this little sample. It was a counter that I built, and I called it StreamDeck first here in Visual Studio. Yeah, I think it's the cable. So what I did was I lifted some of the resources that come with the with one of the existing plugins, and this is how they tell you to interact and build an extension here. If you go into your app data folder, so under my name, app data roaming, there's Elgato, and then StreamDeck, plugins, and then this one here, Com Elgato CPU SD plugin. So this is a plugin that's been built using C++, compiles down to an exe, you can see it here, and it gets executed and passed in a series of arguments that tells it how to configure and where the StreamDeck is so it knows how to interact with it. J. Perro, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Steve, you're getting a little sweaty there. Back off there, Steve. Take it easy. Don't need to work out so much. Don't have to be so loud here. So there's resources here for various languages when you want to do localization, but one of the key parts is this manifest that tells the StreamDeck, here's all the pieces that you need in order to configure it. The icon, the name of the plugin, states of the buttons that you're going to be creating, some meta information about me as the author and the plugin itself, and then how to actually run this thing. So there's the executables. Here's the information about the operating system. Not bad. That's pretty easy to follow. I actually grabbed some of the other source code that was out there and freely available in samples, including this sample for a counter plugin that was built using JavaScript. And if you go down into the sources, you see here's a couple of the icons that need to appear inside the StreamDeck app, right? If I click on one of these and turn on the preview, where's that preview pane? There you go, right? These action icons, these are the icons that are being displayed here. Default image, right? That's for, I'm sorry. The action icon is the icon for over here. Default image, this is the image that appears on the button itself. Plugin icon, I'm not sure which one the plugin icon is. I think that might be when you deploy this thing. Hey, Carrie. Aloha. And then for this plugin, it's all written in HTML with JavaScript. So the manifest for this actually says CodePath is that HTML file. And we're going to see a little bit later on, you actually write a lot of HTML to enable the StreamDeck. All the stuff that appears down here to configure it, to send in properties, this is HTML. This is an HTML form that you fill out, and when you save and change items here, it pushes it across a WebSocket into your application, into your web page or whatever it is that you're using to configure the StreamDeck. So, let me show you what I did. So I've finished this counter. I thought I finished it, but it's clearly not behaving, right? So there's the StreamDeck. Here's my counter button, and when you press it, it was counting up for me when I ran it last time. So let's take a look over here. I'm going to open Task Manager so we can look at the StreamDeck. There's my StreamDeck first application that I compiled. It's running. It's sitting out there in the background. And you know what? I think it actually still has... I think it still has my pause in it so that it doesn't actually start until after it's been attached to. The plugin icon is the icon displayed in the More Actions where users can install. Okay, thank you. Thank you, T-Mac. So when you click More Actions, this actually takes you to a bit of a action store, if you will, for the StreamDeck. Here's that plugin icon. That's the one I was thinking of. So you see, I just copied the existing one that was out there just so I could get something running. There it is. Since I attached it's now counting, and you can see the number counting up here as I press the button on the Stream Deck. Now, simple, right? This is an example that's already out there. Did the folks who run the Elgato Twitter account ever respond to me? No, they did not. So I had applied for an Elgato partnership. I want to build more of these features. I want to put together a library, some APIs, so that .NET folks who are building with .NET Core can interact and easily from the .NET command line interact with StreamDeck. And Carrie even mentioned yesterday on Twitter, I've recommended a lot of folks buy StreamDecks and some of the other products there. They've made a couple sales based on my references. And thank you. Yes, Chef Brent. I'm gonna polish up Fierce Kitten's comment there. And the fact of the matter is, I just don't have the viewership volume they're looking for. While I am within our developer community a little bit influential. Oh, thank you, Rambling Geek. I appreciate you sharing that. It's not what Elgato's looking for. They're not trying to promote and get into this community right now. Is the way that I took their feedback, because I received a form letter to my corporate email address, which is at Microsoft. They declined a partnership with someone from Microsoft, so I asked to get connected to some of their marketing and sales folks and say, hey, we should talk about this a little bit. Ball's in their court. If they'd like to, that's great. I'm an open source developer. I'm going to continue pushing in this direction. Hey, Hugo, good to see you. Privan1, hello. Thank you for joining us. So my plugin here, and I want to just dial back so you can see where that break was that I put in there. I had put into, where is it? Up here in my program. I wrote everything as a single console application. I had put a little snippet in here so that when this starts up, where'd it go? Console read line. Where'd it go? Attempting to connect. I put something in here that actually paused and it wouldn't do anything. It wouldn't move forward. Or maybe I didn't even deploy it yet. I don't see it. Feels bad, man. All right. Yeah, maybe I didn't deploy that version yet. FunkDev, thanks so much for the subscription. Why didn't I hear a sound on that? I use Streamlabs for my... Did I do the while not debugger is attached? Where is that? While not debugger is attached. Ah, there it is. Yep, there it is. So it's just blocking and waiting so it doesn't do anything until I actually have the debugger attached to the application. Hey, wow, Code Therapist. Oh, now it is Code Therapist with a space in between. Nice. I want to make sure that we hear those subscription alerts. Let me just run over to Streamlabs. I had to mute that yesterday. No, sound volume is there. Resub message settings. Ah, there it is. Text to speech is enabled. Where'd sound go? Because I did not hear anything there. And I want to thank FunkDeb for that kind subscription. And we will match and make a donation to Black Girls Code. Thank you so much for that. Where'd it go? I can't remember what I had as the sound. Was it this? No, that wasn't it. We'll go with that for right now. Cool. And it is really freaking loud. You know what I mean? Back that off. Back off. Cool. Alrighty. Mighty Core 1, thank you for bringing your Twitch Prime subscription. I appreciate that. I did turn down the volume. Yeah. And for some reason, it just refreshed the chat room. I don't get that. I need to get a clip of Da 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 from Trio when Steve and Bill are on screen. That would be cool. Let me put that in my notes. Absolutely. Da 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 from Trio for Steve and Bill. Absolutely. So, yeah, we were doing some debugging, so I wanted to make sure that it didn't advance. We didn't do anything significant until after we had the debugger attached. So that's why I had this little block of code here. So once I got this working, it kind of made sense for me to say, okay, let's take the next step. Let's build a reusable client library. And the way to do that, if we want to target .NET Core so that we have the cross-platform capabilities, is to build a .NET Standard library. So I set up another branch, and I called my branch Feature Lib. You can see it down here in the bottom right. And that branch is available online. You can see it here. And I started taking some of the capabilities, some of the documentation from the Elgato website and packing those features into this library. So I created a new library. This library targets .NET Standard 2.0. Benchmark Hardware. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. And here comes, is that error than C? Thank you so much for the follow as well. Wow, we're closing in on 4,800. 4,800. Are we going to tick 4,800 today? Chat room, what do you think? Are we gonna cross 4,800? I think we can do it. I think it's going to happen today.
You can do it.
We're close. We're close. Oh, I appreciate that, Benchmark Hardware. So if we target .NET Standard 2.0, we're going to be able to compile whatever we build in here into this library so that it works on any of the .NET frameworks. That means .NET framework that runs on Windows inside of a Windows Forms application or a WPF application, or even UWP. We can put it into an ASP.NET application, ASP.NET Core, into a web application. Massruorm. I hope I pronounced that right. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate everybody joining us here today. That's great. So, and do we have any mods here? Yeah, Xamarin app. So whatever we put in here could run inside of a Xamarin app. Maybe if you rebuilt something using Xamarin Forms for Mac, or if you built something with Xamarin Forms that runs on Tizen, and it'll compile, and it should run on those platforms. We want this to work for both Mac and Linux, so it makes perfect sense for us. iOS, Android, yes, Hugo. You got to update Visual Studio. So I'm going to mark the project here. Building a .NET Standard library for Elgato StreamDeck. There we go. So now we've got a project listed out there, so when anybody comes in and says, hey, what are you working on? We can just !project, and the bot will let folks know what we're working on. So .NET Standard Library, and you can build this. You don't need Visual Studio to build this. You can build this with the command line tools, with the .NET SDK that's freely available, and you can build and work in Visual Studio Code if that's what makes you happy. So our end goal here, right, and I mentioned this last time, but I want to recap for anybody who wasn't here, is I want to be able to say .NET New, and when the list of templates comes up here, I want to be able to say StreamDeck plugin. And I want to be able to build a StreamDeck plugin wherever I am with .NET, make that real easy for folks with a nice template. So, what I've built here, I have this connection manager object. And in chat room, I'm going to ask you to keep me honest here. I haven't built any unit tests yet. I'm terrible like that. I'm terrible. I'm going to ask you if you can help me out by let's put some unit tests to this. If you can give me some unit tests to help out with this, I would greatly appreciate it. We'll of course give you some credit here. I know, Hugo. I know. I'm not exactly...
Wait, let me explain something to you.
I'm not great at writing unit tests. So I want to thank the dude for helping me out there. I need some help building those. I always feel like when I'm building unit tests on stream, I feel like I'm wasting your time, and I should be building a functionality. Mass Rurum says, I try to follow test first, code later. Yeah, but I know. You know what I need? I need the woman from Game of Thrones. Shame. Yeah, I know.
People know me.
And I should be doing these things. I should. So I've built this connection manager object. And this is what I want to be the center of how you connect out and start interacting with the StreamDeck. So I created a dictionary of the various actions that the StreamDeck is going to send you information about. And these are the pieces of text that the StreamDeck will inform you when you interact with the hardware. You'll get a key down event when you press the button, and then key up when you release. Will appear and will disappear, if I understand correctly, are when the button is being brought onto the screen. So right now I'm looking at one of my soundboards. When I click out, well, now will appear fired for that counter, and it made it available. When I click into another menu, will disappear fired for the counter because it's no longer visible. Since we build an MVP, isn't it okay to start with code? I think you're right, Code Therapist. I think that's the right way to go there. I think that's the right thing to do because we're doing it live. I had an interview candidate tell me once that design patterns were useless. Design patterns are a very, very good thing. They're an amazing thing, and they prove...
But what I do have...
What do you have?
Are a very particular set of skills.
Very particular set of skills.
I've acquired over a very long career.
You've had a very long career, or you're old.
Oh my.
I fixed George so he's nice and loud and we can hear him now. Go from code to MVP, refactor, add tests to ensure that it works. Yeah, Hugo, I've actually heard some folks say you write tests to kind of pin the functionality. This is how it works. This is how I expect it to work. So then as you add features, you're assured that it works properly. I can't keep reinventing the wheel. Yeah, I know. Yeah. So I set up, I've referred to it as an action dictionary. Some folks have referred to it as the strategy pattern. But this is a dictionary. There's a ton of markup here and it's wrapped a little bit, which makes it look really ugly. Let's see here. This is a dictionary that takes in a string key, right? So which is that action that's being sent to us by the hardware. And then I'm receiving, I have a value that goes along with that. That's a value tuple, right? That's why you see this parenthesis. This is an anonymous type that we're just conjuring on the fly that has some string action, right? The name of the action, the name of the feature on the button that's being fired, the context, what the device is, and some other information. And then some payload about that. And then a signature for that device, right? It's a ID for that device. And what I'm doing is I'm just passing that into some methods here called on key down, on key up, on will appear, and on will disappear, so that you can write something that looks like events. Now, I did create an interface that has those 4 signatures on it. This way, when you create a plugin, all you have to do is implement this interface. You're going to receive and handle a manager object, okay, so that you know how to get back to the StreamDeck, and then handle, well, what do you want to do when the key's pressed? Makes sense. Add the string compare ordinal ignore case. You might be overthinking that. You might be overthinking that, Code Therapist, and I'll show you why. The connection manager, when it wants to call into the dictionary, what it's going to be doing is inside of my run method here, right? So while we're connected to the WebSocket, because the StreamDeck runs with WebSockets. So when our library runs, connect to whatever port the StreamDeck told us to. Register this plugin so that it knows, hey, we're out here listening. And we deserialize an event that comes back to us from the StreamDeck. And the StreamDeck has those events. They're always going to have the same name. So I don't think I need to use a string compare ordinal case comparison because that block of text isn't something that's being keyed in. It's literally a command that the StreamDeck sends us. Also curious about the solution to the closed socket issue. You know what? I didn't have a solution for that. I just kind of ran with it. We could do something in here, right? So I added a little switch statement that says, well, if our socket is closed, stop. And this kind of makes sense because when I shut down the StreamDeck software or I unplug the StreamDeck, the hardware is going to say, well, stop running these things and exit. So I might not necessarily want it to start up and run all the time. Didn't we end the stream with an issue of not getting the payload? Yes, and I fixed that. The way that I fixed that over here was that when I sent the registration, I had to say this is the end of this message so that it knew that was the StreamDeck's opportunity to send information back to me. And then down here, I had a problem where I didn't actually allocate any size to the buffer. So I start off a buffer here with a 64K size, turn it into an array segment, and then start receiving. So that's how I got it to start loading things up there. And Fritzbot, that's a really wrong answer. What is when someone adds a new dictionary item and doesn't do it in a way the StreamDeck is returning? Well, that's an error. We're adhering to their API. We better make sure that it matches. I think that's a pretty simple answer. Did the SDK specify body size, or is that an educated guess? Drega, it's a guess right now. We could open it up a little bit, but and we can do something here that says we could put a loop that says if the message hasn't completed, we'll go get some more items out of the buffer. We can do that. For right now, for the payloads that I've been receiving and seeing, 64K seems like plenty. But we can always put some sort of a loop, like I said, to extend that later. So this was just my simple, right here I am, but this is back in the counter plugin. And I have my key down, and all it's doing is counter ++ and set the title. That was easy to do. That makes sense, nothing to it. And we're going to continue adding to this. So inside the connection manager, where I'm trying to make this a little bit more robust, a little bit more adhering to the complete API, I'm doing the exact same things. Connect, send that message to register. When the token cancellation request, when it's not being requested to cancel, let's make sure that we behave appropriately when the WebSocket is closed. And then I'm doing that exact same, serialize out the object. Now, set title, I have set title args. I created a method over here based on the signature that was defined in the documentation of the SDK. So we have a payload that has information about the title, the target that we're actually hitting, and the target is hardware and software, or just software. This way we can say send information to the application and it should appear just in the software, or send information and only send it to the device, or send it to both. For the types of things that I'm interacting and doing, I want to send it to both. But you have that flexibility, you have that option. In order to make this a little bit more friendly for C# developers, the target type that gets serialized, because we're sending JSON back and forth to the device, to the app that gets traffic to the device, is an int. but I want to use my enum, so this is nice and easy to interact with. So I have an enum here that has a JSON ignore. Don't serialize this. Get and set it, and then the int for the target is just converting that enum back to a number. The JSON data should be fairly small unless the action saves a lot of persistent data using set settings. So that was the other API that the counter uses in this sample over here. Right? If I open and look at this, it calls a set. Oops. This calls a, where'd it go? Update settings. And then a set settings method, right? Set settings down here has a little block of JSON with some payload for it to store. And you can think of this like setting a cookie inside the application to be remembered. So store this information. It's a little block of data. Remember this so that I can reload it later when I'm interacting with this. So I didn't do this for my app, for my action. You can see the counter counting up as I press it here. But when I go into another screen and come back, it forgets it because I'm not storing that number somewhere. It's been made to disappear, and it reactivates, and when it activates, it's pulling that number from nowhere. It's reset at that point. Now, given inside of my little bit here, I reset the counter to 0. I actually set the counter to 0 as a static here. This gets reactivated and restarted, so I get a new instance here. So, little bit of interesting interaction there that we need to be aware of as we're building plugins in the future. Now, one of the things that I want to be able to do at some point is I'd love to be able to add a logger to this. One of the challenges we ran into was, how do we know what information is happening inside of this? Does it have an API to manage state? Yes, that's this settings, right? If I go back over here, right, set settings. So you send an event, send a block of JSON called with an event of set settings, and that'll save that state, the current state, and then you can fetch it later, right? So when we go down here a little bit, there is somewhere it's getting the settings. On will appear. So where is on will appear? Because that's where it gets the information. On will appear. Key press counter if settings does not equal null. So on will appear passes the settings in. And if it has a property on that called key press counter, then it goes and grabs that and sets that title. Hey, Aluth, welcome. So that's interesting. That's all the information that we can go through and work with here. Not a problem, Hugo. Not a problem. So the structure where I want you to be able to use this is I want you to be able to say connection manager initialize from inside of a console application. Pass in the port, UUID, register event, and info. Set plugin and pass in a new instance of your plugin, and then start, and then it just goes and does its thing. It just runs for you. I feel like I should have almost a canonical example project sitting here that uses the lib. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. And you know what? After I get this built, I'm going to open my live share read only, so anybody can connect in and peek around. So let's call this sample plugin. Yeah, sure. So this is .NET Core console application. There it is. I will add a reference to the StreamDeck lib project. So .NET Core is the reference the reference implementation of .NET Standard. Everything declared in the .NET Standard APIs, which work on all the .NET frameworks, by default work on .NET Core. So the way that I want this to be able to run, not right now. and we're going to talk about IntelliCode here in a little bit. I want to be able to say new connection manager. I'm going to control dot there, get my using statement. Karnak, why aren't you running? Our friends want to see our keystrokes. So I will control, come on. Oh, that's right. That's not how I wanted it to run. I wanted you to say initialize and then pass in all that information. Rocket Ron, thank you for joining us. Set plugin and then pass in some plugin information here. My sample plugin. And then be able to say start. And then it just runs. Yep, I need a cancellation token in there. So we need a cancellation token source. Cancellation token source. And control dots, get my using statement. There we go. And then what I will do is console read line. And then if that goes through, what I can do is I could say source dot cancel. And that will actually cancel this token and send that signal so that it disconnects the whole way down. So let me set up that share session. Thank you for reminding me, Draga.
Do it!
Yeah, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. Excuse me. Here we go. Get signed in with my account. Doing the thing. That's not the right password. I've got too many passwords. I feel like that movie Sneakers. Too many secrets. All right, ready to collaborate. I'm going to make this a read-only session. And there you go. If you're running Visual Studio Code, maybe you're running Visual Studio, full Visual Studio 2017, or even Visual Studio 2019, you can be on Windows, Mac, or Linux. Check out the link I just pasted in the chat room. That'll get you connected into my Visual Studio. And you'll be able to navigate around the project and see what it looks like locally. And because there's a little bit of a delay, you'll see it before anybody else. Wow. Kaga Bandorius. Thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. We can hear the character counts on your password entries. Now it's obvious. Ah, Mark.
Wow.
It's terrible. I know. What am I going to do?
Throw me a frickin' bone here.
No, don't throw me a freaking bone. All right, so I need to get all the other things here. What I did, right, all the other parameters. When the application is started, the arguments that are being passed in here, we actually used a, what was the NuGet package? We used McMaster extensions command line utils to set up and make management and interaction with those plugins really easy to do. So let's do it. Let's re-add that same McMaster extensions command line utils down here. I'm going to cheat because I'm an elite developer. Thank you. I'm going to edit the project file directly and grab... I'm going to put it into this one. But I'm going to edit this project file directly. And where did it go? Thank you. We've got friends joining us. Cool. There's my packages. So I'm going to grab that item group, right? This is the packages. These are the references that we're going to use inside of our project. I'm going to grab these. Password Hunter 2. No, sorry. Star. Carrie's got it right. Yeah.
Shut up!
Okay. So let's add those in. And now when I save, you can't see it here behind me, but it's restoring those. And the way that our program was structured, let me go to that one over here. Right, so class program, the main should now do this instead of all this nonsense. So I'm just going to reroute there. That fat arrow notation, this is a C#7 feature that says just go do this thing over here. So I'm going to bring in my using statement. Why am I not seeing Karnak pop up here? Huh? Why aren't you popping up? Try that again. Come on back, Karnak. There we go. I want to make sure you can see if you have any questions there. And the other things were, here's all of my parameters that we're receiving. So I want to make sure I grab those. And those are now available. And then the last thing that I needed to do was implement the onExecute. So this is static task, right? Int main, there it is. Cool. And let's control dot, get my using statement. So now this will execute asynchronously and call down into here, and I need to pass in these various bits, these various pieces of information to my initialize. So the port is port. The UUID is the plugin UUID. Register event is my register event. And then this is... My initialize is taking a strongly typed info object, but I'm receiving a string. I may have overthought this. Suggestion, use int as port. Okay. If I do that, let's go back over to my initialize method. If I turn this back to int, I think my info block, I don't think I want to so much serialize it here. And my connection manager, the port object should also be an int. Good suggestion, Code Therapist. Thank you. So if I go Influencer 8, thank you so much for the subscription. And I will match that subscription and we'll make a donation to Black Girls Code this month. Very cool. Thank you. I'm receiving this strongly typed info object, and it feels weird receiving that because it's not something that I want the application to do, right? As a library designer, I want to make the friction for you to be able to use my library 0. I don't want you to have to think about this at all. And these bits here, everything that's in here, I want to make boilerplate. When you save new template, this code that you need to get started, I want to already be in the new plugin for you so that all you have to do is name your plugin. So let's create a mysample plugin class just so it's out there. Get rid of another... why am I going through there? I could just control dot here and tell it generated. Look at that. MySample plugin. And that goes away. But that info block, I think we don't want to communicate and make that requirement in our boilerplate code that you have to serialize, deserialize, do all the JSON things. So I think we should make this connection manager where it receives that strongly typed object. Let's just make that a string. And then instead of passing that in directly here, let's do the JSON convert. And, right, deserialize object. And we're going to deserialize that into a messages info. And it is the info object. That's not right. You know what? Let's do this. Get rid of that, rid of this, and punch it in down there. What do you think? Am I doing something? Gotta run? All right, thanks so much for joining us, Developers Garage. I usually catch these streams on YouTube because I have meetings through the stream. Wanted to pop in and sub between meetings. Well, thank you, Influencer 8. I appreciate you joining us. With the string, as a consumer of the library, you need to know the right format structure of the string. Yes, and I could raise... Yeah... call this validate the info parameter. You're right. We should have some validation around that to ensure that it's the right format. I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. We're connecting to an API that's always going to send the same format. So we should be able to handle that appropriately. An object that makes it clear what's needed. Yes. Yes, we're going to need to put some little bit of documentation around that, I think. Let's just throw a to-do there, and we'll come back to it as we get a little bit further in here. So now that should made that section go away. It'll run synchronously. Consider using the await operator. Blah, 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 blah. Did I use an await on that before? I haven't put an await in the execute async yet. So start, actually. Right? So this says task factory start new, run and receive the token, and it's a long-running task. So we don't have garbage collector try and clean up the task. And it returns the connection manager. So I think with this task factory start new, this is awaitable. If I made this async, right? Then I could put an await on this. And we got to make this a task of type T. Eddie Bolo, thank you so much for joining us. Get rid of that T. What was I thinking? All right, so that should work. And do I need to return? Yeah. So there's this, and now I can actually await that. And we're good. Got a meeting momentarily. Have a good day. Thanks for joining us, Lannon. All right. I think we're in a good place. I think this makes a bit of sense. My connection manager is not too bad. This block of code, this boilerplate code, I feel good about it. It's descriptive about what it's doing. I wish I didn't have to make it as verbose, but I think it does. It does the thing. Are functions that are async supposed to have an async suffix? You're right. Let's call this start async. Good call. Thank you. Bonus points there for fossils. One ping and one ping only. Okay. So that should do this. And now if I were building that same counter plugin, right? I still need to add things in here like the manifest and my images that are down here for this sample plugin. But my sample plugin, right? Why does it make the get sets throw the exception? It's like by default, why don't you just implement the auto property syntax, you know? Make that real easy, cut right to the chase, do the thing. So I can handle the on key down, on key up, will appear, will disappear, and actually do those interactions now. Looking at how I did that over here for this plugin, all I did was say set title and pass in the information. You can change that under options. I can change what? Let's see here. Thought I just saw. No, we're good. Okay. The auto property. Oh, we can? No. Is it there? Stop. Where is it? Formatting, general. Format document settings. No. Where is it at? The auto property. I would love to be able to do that. That makes perfect sense to me. Advanced under C#. So let's get rid of that. So C#, advanced, outlining, fading, block structure guides. Implement interface. When inserting properties, place them. When generating properties, yes. Prefer auto. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Voltage X, thank you for joining us. Good morning, good evening. All right. So that's going to make life easier. Oh my gosh. I didn't know they changed that. Who knew? Yeah, thanks for the tip, Code Therapist. So, I took what was in this set title method, and in my little connection manager here, set title async receives context in the new title, and I have a new title args message, and I just set the properties appropriately. Serialize the object and send that information over the socket. It's all wrapped up. All the socket interaction nonsense is hitting for you so that you don't have to think about it, right? We want to make sure that it's easy for you to build and interact with these things without having to think about network protocols or even JSON structures. Just work with the objects directly. So I feel pretty good about that. Let me save. We should be able to build, right? We're in a good position to build here, aren't we? Build failed. Maybe not. Program does not contain a static main method suitable for an entry point in sample plugin. Oh, you know what? My project is not using the latest version of the language. So it's using the latest major version. If I tell it latest minor version, save that, and now try to build and it should work. Hey, Mobile Res, made it finally, but you can't type. No worries, we're all good like that. Nobody's that crazy that they can type perfectly every time. That's pretty crazy. Build succeeded there because I changed the version. It's over here. Okay, so I have a plugin. I've got, what my sample application should look like when I go to build this and have what this should look like. I'm actually going to, let's see, I thought I had a console. I don't have a console open. Let me open one. Let me throw a commit out there. It's not under Fritz. It's under that. And I'm gonna need to rename this and move the project or something at some point. Yes, add everything, and let's small refactorings let's call this introducing the sample plugin, and then push that out. You were late because dockering for the first time, working on the... Oh, yes, we are working on the StreamDeck project. Yes. Right, we can even do this. Check this out. Project command. Bing. Yeah, bing. All right, push that up. So now that's shared out there on GitHub. JWMC Peak. Thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate you joining us. Bringing your Twitch Prime, and Twitch Prime is real easy to get. If you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you're already getting free shipments, you're already getting Amazon Video. You can get a Twitch Prime subscription free just by linking your accounts, and that'll give you one channel subscription you can use anywhere on Twitch if you choose to use that with me. As with all the other channels, it'll drop all the commercials that you may see when you first click into view. But you'll also get that first emote that I have, the .NET bot. Use it anywhere you want here on Twitch, and I'll make a matching donation to Black Girl's Code. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. And you used yours here. Yeah! So that pushed this out, and it's out here on GitHub now. And we should have an update. There we go. Now, I want to back up and I want to do... let me run our commercial here real quick. Today's show is brought to us by CA Veracode. These folks are doing some work on the current state of software security. They're checking in and seeing what's going on out in the community, trying to do some analysis and make sure that folks are aware of security concerns out there. And specifically, they write reports that come out every now and again. They just released their Security Volume 9 report. They're specifically focused on the DevSecOps movement, right? DevSecOps, that's the idea, not just DevOps, but DevSecurity, security of your applications and the applications that your operations folks are deploying and managing. It's important that everybody keeps security in mind as they're building things. So they've done some analysis. They've looked at some things, particularly around OWASP, and around the effect of how quickly we can discover security issues and repair them. And the big one that I want to make sure that I call out here that I think is important is the open source components. They've done some analysis about problems with open source components and security, and making sure that folks are getting their open source components updated, fixed, patched appropriately. This year's report that they just released, it's their most developer-focused volume ever. I want you to check it out. Go download it. Let them know that you got it here, that you heard about it from me on our channel here. Let me post the link here in the chat room. I'm going to copy it from over here. This is easier for me to read and copy it. Nice and short. You use Veracode for static analysis in Xamarin Windows desktop apps. Fantastic, Draga. Check it out, www.veracode.com/SOSS, State of Software Security. So sign up, you can click through and get their report, download the white paper, and you can check out their products. Thank you so much to our friends at CA Veracode for sponsoring today's stream. I really appreciate it. We're going to have sponsors for a couple streams coming up here, and I want to make sure that we thank them. We show our appreciation as they help us grow and extend the reach of the stream and reach new places. So, very cool stuff that we're able to do, and as we grow, and I want to make sure that we continue to have a charitable component, and that we do have the ability to grow and let the stream let this become something more. Alrighty, so back into our code. So we committed. We have our StreamDeck components all updated out there. There's so we have our sample code. We have our first. You know what? Let's try taking a little bit more in this sample plugin, and let's add in some of these default images and the manifest so that it's there with just my stuff, and then we'll figure out how to templatificate. That sounds like what George W. would have said. Templatify. We're going to templatify the thing. No, that's not right. So I'm going to open, just so that we have, where's it? Open folder. I'm terrible at finding things in that menu here. So I'm just going to grab these default images, the manifest, the PNGs, copy this, and put it into this plugin folder, paste them in there. So, I mean, you know, no big deal here, right? These are just things that I want to make. There we go. We want to make these content? Yeah. And then copy if newer. Now, we ran into this problem last time, and that feels weird. Fool me once. I know, fossils. I know. I tried to get it working once. Right, that feels like a Visual Studio bug, that it doesn't let me select there. But these are the components, right, that we need to have as part of the deployment. Ooh, look at that. I didn't want to actually open it. I just wanted to select it. There we go. Copy if newer. But some of these things, I think, you know, we're going to want to figure out a nice way to generate and write it out, maybe, or to recommend, or maybe we create a build task that analyzes and says, oh, you don't have the plugin icons. You don't have the action icons. Morpheus 0, thanks so much for the follow. Oh my gosh, we are four followers away? 4 from 4,800? Oh, baby. There's an old saying in Tennessee. I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee too. Yeah, maybe. Awesome. Jay Parrow learned something new. Fantastic. Glad you're learning something new. We're always about learning something new here. I want to make sure that that's something that we can all hang our hats on and go after. Exactly, Code Therapist. Oh, wait a second. .NET new template to help us build templates. Is that what you mean? Because I do want to turn this into a template, but being able to say, give me a baseline for the template. That might be interesting. You might be onto something really cool there, Code Therapist, if I understand you correctly. Kitten Parry, thank you for the follow. Now, wait a sec. Now, is it JW McPeak? Let me ask that. You subscribed, but you didn't follow. Yeah, okay. Well, thank you. Thanks so much for clicking through that follow. Follows are free. Tell your friends, tell your families, tell your pets. Come through, click that follow button. There is a distinction, yeah. Follow gets you the notifications, and subscription gets you to what's the word I'm looking for? Subscription gets you the emotes and removes the commercials. So it would be nice. Hey, Twitch, if you're watching out there, Twitch folks, a little bit of feedback. If someone clicks subscribe and they're not currently following, it'd be nice to put a switch in there that says follow also and have it default to on with maybe a little bit of help text next to it that says, you know, you're not currently following this person. Do you want to follow and receive notifications when they come online? Since you're now subscribing and providing that level of support, might be nice to have that available there. Somebody clip that. And we'll send that off to the Twitch people. I'm not quite sure why that got hung up in the auto mod, Hugo, but we're okay with that. All right, so that's those are the base things for sample plugin. So if I go into sample plugin, and to make it do the counter thing, I don't want to throw new system exception. I just want to return there. I don't want to, right? Just do nothing. Same thing here with on key up is where I actually want to do the work, right? Do the work. And then on will appear. I'm not going to do anything here just yet. And I'm not going to do anything in this one. All right. So the work we're going to do here, let's create a private static int counter equals 0. And then here we'll do, right, counter plus plus. And then I should be able to say, right, manager set title async. Now that's interesting. I'm going to need to await and handle that. I need to pass the context, and then the new title, counter. I got to put a toString on that, rats. What do we have here? Fool me once. T-Mac, note that to distribute your plugins, you should use the distribution tool. Yes, this is a good point, and I wanted to come back to this because I think this is a great idea. That will generate a StreamDeck plugin file suitable for sharing. Right, it's a .StreamDeck plugin file. The distribution tool also verifies that the plugin is valid. So, what if we could turn the distribution tool into a publish task, a publish step that the .NET command line tool knows how to execute? Come on. Tell me I'm right there. Tell me. Would that not be the jammy jam? Wouldn't that be just amazing? If you could say, right, you're at the command line. Oh, I love this. This sounds so cool. I love the way this sounds. Right? That's not how you spell a directory. Yeah, I know. Thanks, PowerShell. You took forever to bring that back, you punk. Sample plugin, right? In addition to me being able to say .NET build, right, which builds and does its thing and all the stuff happens and I get a thing coming out the other side. Fine. If I do .NET publish for this type of project with these type of tasks that are available, I don't just want an exe coming out the other side. I want a .StreamDeck plugin file. Come on, I've got to have a sound effect for that.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Would that not be cool? Tell me what you think, chat room. Come on. Makes sense, says T-Mac. Yeah. Right. This way, as an SDK, as a tool to help .NET developers build a plugin, build something that's going to interact with the Stream Deck, you've got a whole toolkit, and all you had to do was .NET New install and install the template. Smooth like butter. Like butter. Because
60% of the time, it works every time.
Yes! We could do it as a global .NET tool. Oh my gosh, Code Therapist. That's another good one too. So we're going to need to figure out how to package, redistribute the .StreamDeck plugin. Maybe we can look in if the source code for that was available. We could look at, making sure that we follow the correct format and package and move that along appropriately so it's structured. I think it would make the complete experience so much better. Cue Ralph Wiggins. I'm a genius. Yeah, there's another one. All right. Ralph Wiggins, I'm a genius. I love the ideas for Stream Deck things. For Stream Deck sound effects.
What'd you do?
We started building cool things. That's what we did. All right, so if I finish... So manager set title async, and I need to make sure that I handle that. So I'm going to need to get an awaiter and get the result. Maybe these should be asynchronous by default. Maybe? I don't know. New email alias for Jeff, streamdude@microsoft.com. I wish. I've been pushing on that a little bit. I've been trying to make a bigger thing of doing live streams for Microsoft and make that more accessible, more available for education, to ensure that folks know what they're doing and they have access to the experts in this. I think of this relationship the way that this show is structured. It's more like talk radio and less like a broadcast or just passively watching TV, because I want you to be able to interact. I've given you access. I've given everybody here read access to be able to connect in and look at the code as we're writing it. Thinking of building a chat deck from a Raspberry Pi and a 10-inch touchscreen. That's cool. I'm not talking to. We're discussing. Is there a reason why the event is not async? Well, it's not an event. It's an action. So, Code Therapist, I think you're right. If we go back over here to the connection manager right now, it's returning an action. Now, boy, so if we make the action triggering, if it's going to be async, it's going to return a task, which means we would need to turn this into a func. Func. Let's make this a func.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
No, it means what I think it means. It's a function, and we're going to determine here's what we're passing in, and the last argument of the function is what we're receiving back. What we're receiving back is a task, which feels weird that I've got to turn it from an action into a func so that I can receive that task. But not everybody's perfect. So let me see. So I need to put comma task here, which means, yep, these are right. Can I plug in on key down? These now need to change so they're returning task. And I need to control dot, get my using statements. So I will just replace these to T. There we go. Which means now that my sample plugin, these are wrong. They're not implementing the interface. Not a problem. But that also means that my default implementation needs to return a task. That's fine. So we'll return a task. So I can change this now. Make that awaitable, which means this is async. Fantastic. Return the completed task, and same down there. All right. What do you think? How am I doing? Since this thing is fire and forget. Okay. I'm not a software engineer, just a professional Stack Overflow copier and paster. DevXer.
Throw me a frickin' bone here.
Come on, man. So now if I go back to Connection Manager, when I do these, now I'm receiving back the task. And we should be right down here where it actually does that. There we go. No, that's set title. It's inside the run. Here we go. So it just does invoke on that. I think we're okay. That's what the sticker on my laptop says, at least. I think we're okay. I think so. Or does this need to be like begin invoke? Maybe? If I do just well, what's dynamic invoke? Dynamically invokes the method represented now. If I just do invoke, yeah, oh, we can await that. Oh. So if I do this, do I really want to await it though? I'm going to let it go like that. Do its thing. Okay. So my sample plugin should now do all that appropriately. What else? Let's set this up to build and publish. Right, so I'm going to set this. And then I want to talk about putting in a logger, so we can get some log information written. What do you think, chat room? Because I think that was a missing piece when we were building and working earlier. It's not something that Elgato recommends or suggests when interacting with the device, but I think that a default logger capability would be extremely helpful here. Rebuild succeeded. I'm going to go into the manifest here and rename this. Instead of StreamDeck first, we need to tell it to run a different application. And I'm going to tell it to run sample plugin. And I'm going to call this the sample plugin. The name, even though it's the counter, I'm going to call it sample plugin just so that it's there. URL, we'll change that up later. And I have to change my UUID here to sample plugin.action. I think that'll work. Action icon name, sample plugin. Rebuild. All right. While that's going, I want to talk to you about one more thing here, chat room, that I brought up. I brought up on Twitter last night. Some of you saw it, some of you did not. There's a lot that I want to accomplish here on stream, and when I work on things off stream, I feel like I'm cheating you of some of the development time. So I've been thinking about extending the number of hours that I broadcast. Go from 2 hours to at least 3, probably 4. And I'm also looking at adding a 5th day of streaming so that it becomes a much more regular thing. I'm looking at basically doing Wednesday. So go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. So I have Saturday and Monday with no streaming. The name of the plugin folder might also need to be changed. I don't have it publishing to the plugin folder yet. But yes, we're going to need to change where it's publishing to. So those are the two things that I'm looking at doing. Final thing that I'm looking at doing so that we can try and reach some other folks in a different part of the world. I'm looking at changing my Tuesday stream to be an evening stream. It's going to be something that I think will allow us to reach some new folks who have been asking to be able to watch, to join us here on stream, but they can't because they're part of the world. It's not during the day. MakesyBot, thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. Why am I not looking at the right location here? App data, roaming. So when I publish this, I want it to go into the appropriate folder here. So instead of one of those, let's make a new folder. Why am I going through all those? The buttons right there. C# Fritz, sample plugin. There we go. Oh, and I've got to put that SD plugin on the end of that. Pine Dax, thank you so much for the subscription. I appreciate that. And we'll make a matching donation to Black Girls Code using your Twitch Prime. Fantastic. I'm going to publish to that folder. Yep, create that profile. And I'm going to configure this. Yeah, portable's fine. Framework dependent. Okay. No, wait, no. Is it portable? I don't want the... Yeah, it'll give me an exe. We are one more away from 4,800, 201 to go. Ho-ho! Closing in. We're going to make Jeff look like a fool in no time flat. So that folder location, I think that has to be the same as this over here. C# Fritz sample plugin. Hey, Knight0323, welcome. Thanks for joining us here. Do me a favor, you can be follower 4,800 if you click that follow button. If you know what I mean. Just saying. All right, let me try publishing this over here. So if I click publish, this should create the appropriate folder right here. There it is. C# Fritz sample plugin SD plugin. There's all the things, and it's sample plugin DLL. I do need to change it from portable to, I need to specify my actual platform here. Not x86, 64-bit baby. Give me the power. Republish. Did I close the folder? No. And where is it? I'm looking for sample plugin. There it is. Sample plugin exe. The manifest should tell it to execute sample plugin exe. The code path Mac is wrong. Already followed. Oh, wow. We hit it. 4801. Woohoo! K Hiro, thank you so much for the follow. And CLI Hero, nice. I appreciate the follows. That is phenomenal. Kevin Downs.
199 to go.
Thanks so much for that kind cheer. And I will drop in a little bit of cheer graffiti for that. We'll make a matching donation. Yeah, we missed it just slightly, but we hit 4,800. 4,800 of us. Phenomenal. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm going to go back over to my sample plugin here. The last place we were working was right in here. It's getting closer. Yeah. Inva HB. Thanks so much for the subscription. Oh my gosh. And John Unit Fberg. Thank you so much for the subscription as well. Both of them with Twitch Prime. Phenomenal. I really appreciate I appreciate your support. And we're going to make donations to Black Girls Code so that other folks, minorities, ladies, can learn how to write code just like we're doing here. I really appreciate all the support. Thank you so much today. That is phenomenal. I want to put that cheer in for Kevin Downs here. Kevin, do you have a preferred place that I put it while I've got you here? Do you want me to put it in the sample plugin, or would you like me to put it in Connection Manager? Because we're kind of working on both. Let me know. For me to test that new plugin, I actually need to restart the StreamDeck app so that it reloads here. So I'm going to quit the StreamDeck app, which kills the music. Rats. But I'll restart it here. You'll take the sample plugin? Fantastic. So I'm just going to write it right in here. Cheer 200. Kevin Downs. January 11, 2019. And I do have a attribute that we'll start decorating and putting on these that has all the information about the cheers, and we'll move things out of comments into those attributes. It should have restarted. Where are we? There it comes. StreamDeck, and it wants me to log into Twitch. I'm not using that feature right now. All right. If I scroll down here, sample plugin is here. I'm going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to find a new folder to write it into. I have like my music here has it. So let me drag this in. There it is. And if I push the button, it doesn't do anything yet. Why isn't it doing anything? It's not doing a thing. I let our user group know about my stream and the Visual Studio stream last night. Fantastic, Night0323. What's your user group if you want to promote it? Let us know. So put a link out there for it. And Kevin moved into first place in our Bits for Bytes drive. Whoever has the most bits that they cheer at the end of the month will be invited back to do a pair programming stream with me. You saw Elizabeth Schneider, our November cheerlead, lead cheerer. She pair programmed with us over the past weekend. Lannon BR, we're talking about a project to work on, and we're going to get something up and running here in the next. I think we're pretty close to a good idea here that we're going to work on together, and we'll be pair programming in the very near future. But you could be the next pair programmer. So check that out. Thank you so much, all the folks that are cheering, for your support. Now something's happening there, and I'm not getting my key down event fire. It's key up event. It should be setting that title. Let me reset the music here. Was it purple? I should probably start that outside the StreamDeck, because when I restart the StreamDeck software, it's going to go away. So this isn't, it feels like this isn't doing anything, and it might be, I'm wondering if it's because the connection manager, is the plugin process running? Let's take a look, see. That's a good question. StreamDeck, sample plugin. It is running. I'm wondering if I messed up some of the async here. Follow me for a second. When the connection manager was, excuse me, when it's calling the invoke here, it's calling it synchronously. One second here. My daughters are out doing some chores. There we go. If only there was a unit test. Oh, I see what you did there, Carrie. I see what you did. Can I attach the debugger to it? Well, I actually published in release mode. Let's do this. This was purple. Let me restart. I need to have my music playing, if you know what I mean. I'm going to go grab the music and start that song using just a standard music player. Give me 1 second here. Pro Streamer right here. Right here. Pro Streamer. Go over to my music. Music to code by purple. There it is. Put that on the loop. And we were somewhere out here. There we go. All right. Now I don't need to worry about the StreamDeck starting and stopping it. It's just there. Okay. What did Rambling Geek say? I don't think I'm good enough to be on stream with you. Yes, you are. Everybody here is. Everybody is. I want to make sure that it's accessible and right. It's about learning together. And if it's me teaching you something, if it's us discovering something together, or you teaching me something, that's fine. Let's go figure it out. Yes, gotta love Carl Franklin. Absolutely. That's better. Alrighty. So this is built right now in release mode. I'm gonna delete what's over here. I'm gonna republish. Yeah. I know. It's still in use. So I need to kill the StreamDeck app. Kill that. Cool. And now I should be able to delete these because they're not in use. Nope. It's not going to let me... there we go. Now it's freed up. So I'm going to go republish. Publish. There it is. And I will change my configuration so that I deploy in debug mode. So then I can attach, and I've got all my debugger symbols out there for me. Okay. So let's republish. So restore, completed, publishing started, doing the thing. Here we go. Boom. Look at all that stuff. PDBs for days. PDBs are the portable, they're the debugging files that have all the debugging pointers in them. Here we go. Close that. That started. And if I go down into here, now that's my sample plugin. It's there. It's running. It's doing its thing. I'm going to try to attach this to sample plugin exe. Oh, it feels so good. I'm attached. And you should actually see, those of you that are on the, that are up here and attached, you should have seen the debugger attach, which is cool. Let's put a breakpoint right here. And I'm going to hit the button. So there's my first problem. It's not actually hitting the button. Know what I mean there, Vern? Right? That's... I'm not getting the button triggered. So let's walk back through it. Go over to Connection Manager here. I'm going to slide this down. So if the string is not null or numpty JSON string, we're going to deserialize that object right here. Let's see if we actually get the button. Get the button. Get the button. So I push the button, and I'm not getting this. Let's put a break up here. It's not breaking there either. Have you considered working in VS Code part of the time I stream? Yes. Absolutely. Mr. Thomas Rayner. Absolutely I have. VS Code Wednesday or something? Sure. For projects where I could be working in VS Code, I think that makes sense. I do flip-flop between them. Yeah. So for this kind of thing where I'm debugging and I'm going to be actively going back and forth, I could be doing it in VS Code. This is a little bit cleaner, a little bit easier. So I'm actually a little bit at a miss here because I'm attached, but I'm not seeing this run method happening, doing anything. Is it here? Is it down here? Is it doing this? What's it doing? I'm going to add a method in here to do that same thing we did with the other program so that we wait to do anything, any type of interaction. Where'd it go? While the debugger is attached. So we can try and figure out what's going on here. So where did it go? I know it's here somewhere. before we do the connect, let's wait for the debugger to get attached. Got to watch more regularly. Not a problem. So, I was asking about going a little bit longer, having more hours. One of the things that I'm going to do to accommodate and make sure that folks who do want to be able to catch up and see everything that's going on is while I currently deploy all of the videos live, completely unedited over to YouTube, I have a video editor coming on, and I want to edit down so that you get just the code, just the things that we're working on, and you end up with a much smaller video that's maybe a half an hour long. What do you think? I'm going to republish now that I've added this, and then yeah, we'll go over and see what's going on. I need to cancel this. It's going to choke here because I won't be able to write all the files out. No, I've angered it. Close it. No, don't send anything. Yeah, I know you can't write the files. I've been bad. This is cool. I lose track at times with the live streams. Yeah, and I realize that there's a lot happening here, and I think that if we were to create little snapshot videos, would make it a heck of a lot easier for folks to catch up. Cut out all the chat stuff. There's times where when we're live streaming like this, that chatting with you makes a lot of sense. Jay Parrow, thanks so much for that Twitch Prime subscription. Yeah, but we can have an editor cut out some of those things. And Jay Parrow, we're going to make that matching donation to Black Girls Code. Thank you so much. But to help get up to speed with the project, yes, to be able to have a very project-focused playlist, along with the information really focused on just here's the things that we did, and remove a little bit of the chattiness around it, will certainly be helpful. Now, while that's starting up, I can't attach the debugger just yet. Right, it's not even there yet. Close that. And if I refresh, there's my exe. All right, here we go. So we got the message. Token cancellation requested false. I'm going to go back over to program and make sure that I'm not hitting down here, right? So looks like it's still running. I'm going to push the button and nothing happens. So it went to do the deserialize here of this. Did it error out? Shorter videos would help on YouTube. I completely agree. First time commenting here. Hey, is that Odin Hassan? Always watching reruns. Not a problem. Thrilled that you're here to join us. And happy to answer questions. There's Rambling Geek with us.
5 months already.
Yeah, 5 months, man. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Let's see here. What do we got? I'm on my 3rd or 4th attempt to finish the last pair programming video. Sorry. Yeah. If we get them a little more focused, I think we'll... When you want to know what your tasks are doing, check the task view. Yeah, let's do that. Where is it? Task list. That's not the same thing. Task Runner Explorer. Not the same thing. Where the heck is task view? Task view. Where's task view? Under debugger. Debug. No. Tasks. There we go. Nothing. But it didn't... I'm going to close this program because I'm getting confused by it. It didn't get down into these. So I have a feeling... I have a feeling our start async... Hit pause. So I'm still no tasks to display. If I look at the stack, no, nothing's running right now. let's take a look at the threads. Yeah. Nope. Nope. All right, so we are at the console read line instead of this. So when I ran start here, right? Start new. So it should have started and had this running in the background, right? Because run, right, has this while loop. So this exited this while loop, which tells me there was some sort of an exception. The plot thickens. Maybe do I need the console read line at all here? Because start async, right? Well, it does the start new. So actually it kicks that off and it returns immediately. Right? You seldom see Fritz live during these hours, hence watching recorded sessions. It's 1 a.m. in Malaysia. Odin. So there's one of the reasons why I'm thinking of doing an evening stream my time. If I go back a bunch of hours and I start at about 6-7 o'clock my time, it's like 11 a.m. in Sydney, which would help folks like our friend Odin here, who's stayed up late to join us. Thank you so much for joining us, Odin. Points to you for joining us here. That is phenomenal. Yeah, so I think, right, this start new happens and it returns. Sydney calling, yeah. Right, this creates and starts a task, and then it returns. Right, we're returning the object. Hey, Fretya. I wonder if instead of doing this start new, if I just did run. Return, await, run. Or just await run, right? I'm not returning the right object. I think that, right, because I'm kicking it off, I'm effectively killing it immediately. Suggestion, add task factory start new, continue with task continue options only on faulted and log the exception. So, coming back to, we need a logger. We need a logger. Let's think about this. So if I go back, undo this. And you're saying, let's do a continue with. Right, and we basically have it do nothing. But what were you suggesting here? Task continuation options. Only on faulted. And inside here, we actually log the exception. Unobserved task exception plus equals. That's a good idea. That way it's... Let's do that. Right? On... Right. Unobserved task exception. And then down here, do the logging. So, okay. I've been talking about logging. Let's introduce a logger. Delay in live share compared to video is unsettling. What kind of a logger should we push? Do we push log for net? What's chat room? What's a preferred logger that you would use? Serolog. Oh, that's a that's a good one. And if I want to pass that into here, right? I need to pass. Okay. No. Manage NuGet packages, and let's add Serolog into the mix. There it is. 22 million downloads. Just a few. And it does support all the .NET standards. Fantastic. Yep. Give me some of those. Thank you. All right. Time for a meeting. All right, take care. Have to go. Have a good one. Yeah, Microsoft Extensions logging would be nice, simple interface. Bob's right on that. Then you can add Serolog in appropriately. You know what? Let me remove this. And let's add the logging. Oh my gosh. Extensions. Right, logging. But I want the abstractions. So that's available. And then in my plugin, I actually need to add the concrete ones. Microsoft Extensions logging. There they are. So now I can write them out to the console, or I can write them out to a log file. Real easy. If I can remember how to do it. So in Connection Manager, so when it's initialized, right now I'm passing in this information. Give me an iLogger. Or an iLogger, give me an iLogger factory. So let's create one of these. And logger factory equals logger factory. Thank you. And we'll create that field with control dot. And I'm going to create a logger for Connection Manager. No. Create logger, and we'll call this Connection Manager. So that things that happen inside of our Connection Manager, we can use this logger, and then things for the plugin, we'll pass in a plugin logger so that you can see the difference between the two. Take care, DD. Thanks so much for joining us. Yep, everybody have a great weekend. All right, so this logger is where I'm going to go down here in Run. So right here, let's throw a big old try catch around this. I don't know what the exception is. And we will log error. Actually, I wanted to say like log exception. Isn't there a log exception? Be great if it would just format it for me, right? Log error, and then I have to give it the format of what I'm logging. There's the exception. I knew there was a thing there. Error while processing payload from StreamDeck. Yeah, I think that works. So it shouldn't hang, right? I should be able to see that. Now I need to change up my program over here because I need to pass in now a logger factory, which means I need to create a logger factory. So let's create a logger factory equals new logger factory. Yup. And we can pass in logger providers, or we can add them. I'm going to add them. Add provider. And then is it, shoot, what are the logger providers that we have available to us? Here. Microsoft extensions logging logger providers. I know there's the console one. I don't want to log to the console because I can't see it. I want to log to a file. Is it file logging? Add console, add event source logger. That'd be nice, but I don't want to do that. I feel like that's a little much. New file. No, there is no file logger. No. Add console, add debug, add event source logger. I want to write to a file. Add JSON files, static files. No. App setting files. No. 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 Serilog needs a file sync. Yeah. File logger or rolling file logger? I didn't... Where's file logger? File logger provider class. That's... Extensions logging Azure App Services internal. No. It's a NuGet package. Hey, Veronica. All right, so let's go back to NuGet packages then. What's the name of the NuGet package then for this? Well, that's Serilog. You typed hi and forgot to hit enter. Well, okay, so here I could add Serilog and then add it as, right? Add this as the provider inside the sample plugin. Yeah, I know. Right, so using Serilog with that. Serilog provider for this. Serilog extensions logging. So I need Serilog extensions logging and Serilog syncs console. I don't need the console. There we go. Yeah. Here. So I don't... Do I need Serilog? Yeah, the file sync as well. Thought it would be right at the top. Yep, I know. All right. So now... new logger configuration. Enrich from log context. Huh? Add logging, login builder, logging builder, add Serolog. Dispose true. Well, I don't have services. I've created a logger factory. Logger factory, add Serolog. There we go. And the Serolog logger, if not supplied, the static log will be used. Okay. But what about adding the provider? Hi, Mies, hi. Cool Coding on Twitch. Follow from Bremen, Germany. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. So, right, I need to add the provider, right, so that it knows to write to the file. And I need to specify the name of the file and the location of the file, right? .NET Core 1.0, 1.1. Package implements add Serolog on I, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, how do I... include scope, info, and rolling file sync. Ooh. New logger configuration. Minimum is enrich with, blah, 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 blah. Create logger. Holy crow. Yeah, but I need to specify the file, don't I, Draga? Write to rolling file output template. Oh, that's it? No. Its properties when I implement the write to. Well, okay, hang on. This is dot write to. Okay, hang on. I'm confusing myself here. So initialize, and I'm going to pass in here at the end. I need to pass in the logger factory. We just created that. So there's that. That's satisfied. Yeah, where do I get that write to from? Where does that get written into here? It's not... Is it off of... That's configuration builder. We're not on configuration builder. We're on, like, logger configuration up here, right? After add Serolog. See, there is no write to. No. Is there configuration I'm supposed to pass in here? No. Yeah, I'm trying to find some sample code here for configuring Serolog outside of... Right, package reference, look at all that Serolog. All right, that's fine. Service collection, they're creating a service collection. Add console, add Serolog, add debug, service collection, add logging. Log.logger. Where is log coming from? That's got to be the default Serolog one. Yeah, there it is. Right, so if I do .write to, no, it doesn't. The file sync doesn't look for that. Add Serolog, new logger configuration, create logger. Add Serolog, logger configuration, I don't have new logger configuration. Aha. Create logger. Yep. Okay. And then. Did I hold the keynote in 2018 at Developer Week in Nuremberg? Yes, I did. That was me. You have to create the static one first. Write to is off of logger configuration. So let's go back. Log.logger equals new logger configuration. There's right to. Right, and then if we call this sample plugin.log, cannot be used like a method. Right to file, formatter, path, blah, 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 blah. What else do we have? Path, log event level, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, log everything. Oh my gosh. Let's just do that. What am I missing here? Can I convert? Oh, I have to create logger at the end. There we go. Thank you, E.A. Johnson. So then instead of passing this, it's already done here. So I think I'm okay, right? Okay. So now we should start to get that log file. Let's see what happens. I'm feeling lucky. So I'm going to stop the StreamDeck. There it goes. Let's republish. Now that we've got a thing here. And let's see if we start to get some files. Publish started. And also, it's not going to start immediately until I get the debugger attached. Publish succeeded. Okay. Do this. Come on, StreamDeck. There it goes. Right, and I called it sample plugin.log, right? So it doesn't look like it's there just yet. Don't see the file yet. But then again, it's not logging or doing anything yet. So get connected. Okay. I'm going to put a break here as well. All right, so we got an exception. There we go. The given key device did connect was not present in the dictionary. Aha! So there's my error when it's trying to connect. So that should log that entry into. I don't see my .log file. Right, it should have written it to the local folder. Well, the good news is it's going to continue working. Come off that. So this exception, title parameters did change, doesn't know what to do. Okay, so while I'm trying to be cute here, right, so I stopped that, and let's see, it still didn't write a log file out. Have you got use Serolog on your... I don't have a web host here because this is a console application. My logger factory I'm telling add Serolog to. And then I'm initializing down here. The only thing I'm thinking is, do I have that in the wrong place? And then my logger factory I create, and off it So let's do this. I'm going to... It never hit that line, so I'm going to remove that. Let's also go back over to the, not the sample plugin, connection manager here. And let's say if action dictionary, let's put a not. If it doesn't contain the key of the message event, and that should be parentheses, that's a method, not an index. Continue. So it just loops. I don't know what to do with this event, continue. Actually, what I should do is I should log that message, so what it is, so I can go after it. All right, stop the StreamDeck app. And then I think after we test this, I'm going to have to stop. But I see some great suggestions there about looking at getting the file logger working properly. I think I may open an issue in GitHub and ask for a little bit of assistance if somebody wants to take a look and figure out why it's not doing that logging. That would be a huge, huge help to us here. Come on, start already. I clicked the thing. Actually, did I publish? Did I publish? Let's make sure I publish. Publish succeeded. Good. Okay. So there's this. Close. That'll start. Come over here. Let's do the connection. Hello. It's not running now. Now I've done it. Now I've really done it. I bet you that removing that read line killed me. You know? Like, there we go. Try this one more time. Publish. There we go. It's all written out. Start the app back up. And then it works, right? No, it didn't work. There it is. Okay. And yeah, I don't see a sample plugin log file here yet. So there's something not quite configured right with the file output. So this should be sitting somewhere in here. It hasn't hit this yet. It's there. Now I've got some tasks. Well, you know what? It hasn't activated yet because I'm not. There we go. Set title async context counter to string. Yeah! There's this. I push the button. It goes there. And it updated. So I'll remove that breakpoint. And I can push. And the counter works. So I've got the counter working as the sample plugin. It's not doing the log yet. So I need a little bit of help figuring out why it's not logging properly. But we've got sample plugin working with our .NET Standard library. So our .NET Standard library knows how to do this interaction now. It knows how to connect and do set title. It's the first of those interactions that we've been looking at and trying to figure out how to enable. But we've got this reusable library now that knows how to do the interaction. So I'm going to wrap up here. Maybe logging to the home directory of the StreamDeck app. Could be. Let's take a quick peek where that is. StreamDeck, properties, and open file location. So there's StreamDeck EXE. My sample isn't here. It's not quite sure where it ended up. EA Johnson, if I'd add write2.debug and see if it gets stuff to the debug console. If so, then it's really a file config problem. Okay, we can go that. Is that Drintath? Let me know. You may not remember me, but we met on the plane to San Diego for TwitchCon. Yes! I gave you a card, but I immediately lost it and only found it again in your backpack. Oh, that's so great. Thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate you tuning in. Blazor has a counter, but if you connect counter sample from StreamDeck SDK, it would be cool. That's a little bit going on, a little bit further out there than what I'm trying to accomplish at this point. Let's commit our source code. Let's clean up here, wrap up for the day. So I'm going to add all the files that we added and changed, completed implementation of a sample plugin. So now it does the things. It does a real interaction with the StreamDeck device and actually uses that standard library, right? I'm really happy that the standard library is working the way we want it to. So, this has been tremendous. I'm thrilled with the progress we made here today. And I want to set up for our next raid here. I want to see who's out there, somebody that we can check in on. And I thought I saw... I thought I saw our friend Steve Smith had just started streaming. I thought I saw that. And I don't see him here. I was just about to set up. Yeah, it showed up right at the end. You'll have to catch the VOD. We'll jump over. We'll make it. We'll connect on another one here. I see videos. What do we got here? Yeah, let's set up. Our friend Steve is getting set up. I think it looks like he's still streaming. Let me see if I can find him real quick. Get us connected. Hey, Mario, get playing again there. There we go. Gotta have that Mario music running as we're wrapping up here. I'm doing the search. Come on, show me the channels. So, Steve's another developer programmer. There we go. Science and technology. Yeah, let's raid Steve. So, he's just started streaming. Yeah, Code Rush saying he just started helping him get set up. Let's go say hi to Steve. Say hello. Steve's joined us a couple times here on stream, and we've built some things together and talked about good practices in development. So I'm going to kick off the raid. If you're interested in joining the raid, you don't have to do a thing. Sit right back, and you'll magically be transported over to Steve's stream. Steve is Ardalis, A-R-D-A. Let's throw a shout out in the chat room. Say hi to him. I'll be back again on Sunday morning, and we'll do some more work on the StreamDeck and building out and starting to look at some next steps here, implementing some more of the API and moving in that direction. Sunday afternoon, I'm going to be a guest on the Angry Developers podcast. There'll be a recording that'll be available sometime next week as well. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining me. I really appreciate it. Make sure you say hi to Steve for me, and we'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.